Oh wow, it's live. Oh my god.
All right, so we are live. Thank you for joining in. I go by the name of Foxtail Cinematics, and with me is my very, very special guest, Film Freak Becky. Um,
Hi.
First off, let me just say that you're probably like my number one favorite YouTuber right now,
Oh my
and I'm not
gosh.
just saying that because we're friends, sort of. So I'm not just saying that because of that.
Not just saying for favoritism or anything. That's so sweet of you to say. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's such an
Yeah,
honor that you
you're
even chose me to be on here. So,
for sure. You were probably like one of the like first ones whenever I started to do this whole live stream series when I really wanted to get serious about it and not just have like personal friends of mine on here when I really wanted to start having conversations and doing like Q&As with other different types of YouTubers. You were at the top of my list, and when you agreed to do this, I was like, yes, this is awesome.
oh my gosh. Well, it's like more than an honor. Like I said, like when you asked me, I was like, oh my gosh, really? Like me? That's so nice. Like I see you doing it with other people, and I'm like, he's thriving. Like he's got his thing going on. So it's just like I'm just flattered and honored that you
Yeah, for
considered
sure.
me.
Yeah, because I've actually been a. It's also because it's also great because I've been able to see the progression of your channel like just get exponentially high over the past like what month or so, and that's one of the questions. First off, we'll ask you about that. Like, how do you feel about the sudden like surge of subscribers you've had?
Honestly, it almost doesn't feel real. like I'm almost like this isn't real. Like this is fever dream. I'm gonna wake up one morning and this is gonna be gone. Like this isn't actually happening. And I remember too when it started happening, I actually just could not look at my YouTube because I'm like I just don't want to spoil it. Like I feel like this I can't look at it because it's almost like too good to be true. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's just kind of unreal and crazy, and I'm super grateful more than anything because I'm like, wow, these people actually have chosen to watch me and me being weird and dumb for like 10 minutes or 20 minutes. So yeah, it feels just unbelievably grateful and thankful to
Yeah, you
everybody.
you honestly you totally deserve it. Like I truly mean that
Thank you.
because if I'm being truly honest, and this is kind of what I do on my live streams, I'm very transparent on my live streams more so than I am in my videos, just because in
Good.
my videos I kind of aim to stay in the middle grounds of things. On my live
Yeah,
streams, I'm like fully transparent. I'll let everyone know exactly what I think,
perfect.
and I don't take I don't take it lightly when I do say that I really like a YouTuber because me personally, I don't like YouTubers.
Oh, really?
And that's honestly true. I just do not like YouTubers, and it's funny because this is what I do, and it's probably because of that. That's probably one of the reasons why I started doing YouTubers because I'm like I don't like anyone, and maybe I should do videos that I like watching.
Yes, yes, exactly. Like that's one thing too that it's like I want to do videos that like I would want to watch, you know?
Mhm.
And so like with you and everything that you're doing, like it's fantastic. Like I love your videos and I'm sure like you're proud of yourself too that you're like, okay, I'm creating content that I actually would like to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
That's one of the reasons. Another reason why I started to change the type of content I was making and wanting to do these live streams just because I want to just constantly challenge myself and just do stuff that I really wanted because I've always really wanted to do live streams mostly.
Oh,
I
okay.
always thought that before I started doing any kind of video on YouTube, I really just wanted to do live streaming and just have basically what we're doing now is just having conversations with people. I always thought I've always really liked that. Um, and so the fact that I get to do that now is just awesome. It's a really good feeling.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, you're doing amazing with your live streams and I know it's only going to keep going up from here. So,
Yeah, for
like
sure.
that's fantastic.
All So that already answers one of our questions.
Oh gosh. Did I do
So,
okay?
yes, you're doing great. You're doing great.
I'm like, I'm gonna be so weird with answering questions. Like my mind just goes like every which way.
All right. And I know you have a couple questions for me. Did you want to ask one?
I do. My questions are definitely more on like the movie related spectrum because I love movies and
Yeah.
I love talking about movies. I just do. So I guess my first question for you would be, what would you consider an underrated Disney movie?
I think that one for me is pretty easy. That one is The Good Dinosaur.
Oh my God, no way!
Cause is that yours?
No, it's my boyfriend.
Oh,
He
is it?
loves that movie. Yeah. But explain to me like why you love it so much.
Like for me, it's funny because I'm not a huge fan of animated movies. I don't know why. Even as a kid, I was just never really into a ton of animated films. But I think the I saw the Good Dinosaur in theaters, and I just remember like just loving the cinematography, like the way it's shot. Like a lot of the scenes look real. They look like they
Yeah.
really shot it on real, and that's like to me is like it's besides like Coco. I think The Good Dinosaur is probably like the best looking like Disney film,
Yeah, it's
and
beautiful.
yeah, and I don't think it gets enough credit for that. And it's also I feel it's my underrated pick because when it came out, I thought it was great, but apparently a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah.
And that's always confused me. Like, well, what's wrong with it? But I've never heard any like legitimate negatives about it. Just that it's not up to the standard of, I guess, what Disney usually does. But I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And like the storyline and everything too. So I just watched it maybe about 3 or so months ago for the first time. And I even teared up, but like then again I
Yeah.
kind of cry over everything, but but I did tear up over this one because I thought the story and the relationship between the dinosaur and the boy was just so precious. I thought it was so cute. And then I guess I don't really want to spoil, but there's something that happens early on that I thought was super sad too.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I know what you mean.
yeah, so there's just like a lot to it, and I was like, yeah, I don't know why people don't give it enough credit because it's actually a really endearing movie. It's really sweet. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's because people they have like like that standard now for Pixar or Disney, like anything Pixar or Disney does. People just are just wanting it to be like the biggest, like new. I don't know, just like incredible things.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a weird concept to me. Like, even when it comes to different franchises, there are people who just want like I always say this like the Citizen Kane of whatever that is. And I'm like, well, why can't we just have a good, entertaining movie? Like, why does it have to be like this groundbreaking, thing?
Exactly. Definitely. Like there's a lot of movies that are just like they're just enjoyable and it's there
Yeah.
just to like make you have a good time, forget about life for like 2 hours and it serves its purpose. So yeah, it's hard nowadays. I feel like a lot of people have that standard for movies now. So I don't know, but that one was that's such a good pick. By the way, I hated Citizen Kane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean it's not my favorite, but it's still it's my go-to of when I say that, like because people,
the masterpiece.
yeah, people
They
think
made
of
us
that as
watch
like,
it.
so
Yeah.
it also just sounds good, like this it's not Citizen Kane. I usually say like either Citizen Kane or Schindler's List. I'm
Oh
like
God.
it's not Schindler's List.
I've never even seen that one, so
another
don't
black and
come at
white
me.
film.
I do want to watch that one though. Yeah, it's supposed to be really good. There's like a lot of classics I haven't seen though, which is
Me
bad.
too. Like
Should get on it.
I get away with like pretending. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of people are probably gonna get mad, but I get away with pretending to have seen a lot of classic films only because they're just so popular that I can just be like, oh yeah, this is from that part or whatever, and I can get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I know a lot of people too, they like to do like the whole Fight Club thing. That they're like, oh yeah, like don't talk about Fight Club, but it's like, have you seen Fight Club? Do you know what we when we say that? No, I could probably list you like 10 movies that are classics that I have not seen. Like I'm so bad when it comes to classics. Like I should get on it. I should definitely get on it. It's tough.
Okay, so another question I want to ask you is, how many names or were there like prototype names for your channel, or was it always just gonna be that?
Oh God, that's such a good question. Did you always think of Film Freak Becky? Because it kind of sucks. Where the hell did that? It's kind of weird. Yeah. There were. I'm trying to think. Oh, okay, because I don't know. I feel like you were subscribed to me with my original name. I think it was just the Film Freak before.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was the Film Freak before. I really didn't want like any part of my name out there. Like I wanted to be like as anonymous as possible. But I don't know. I think when it came to changing it to Film Freak Becky, it was more so because I just saw like so many other channels having like even just like their full name or like a fake full name as their channel name. So I was like, I don't know, like I feel like, and then how are people supposed to call me? Like I guess Film Freak, but like, I don't know. I just felt like maybe to make it easier for people, they just call me Becky. So I think that's kind of where the Becky got added on for that name. And then I guess for like the original name, that actually kind of was the original name, actually, believe it or not. That was kind of like just what I thought of. I actually remember I thought of it in the shower. All great ideas come in the shower. I was just in the shower one day and I'm like, you know what, I'm a freak. And I'm a freak when it comes to movies. So, like, I guess that's like F and F, like Film Freak. I'm like, yeah, I feel like if I were to ever do a YouTube channel, it would be Film Freak. So, that's kind of, I guess, where that came from.
It is catchy. You know, that's what you do in marketing. You know, what is that? There's a name for it. It's like Jerry Giraffe, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
I think it's called like is it like synonym? No, not synonym.
Something like
acronym?
That. It's 'cause, you know, something like that.
No,
you're so, you know, like that's why a lot of like comic book characters have the same initials, like Peter Parker, Bruce Banner, because
Bruce Banner. That's so true, actually. Yeah, because it's just catchy.
I think for me as well.
I wanted to ask you.
I honestly don't remember. I think my original channel, it was just like my actual name. It was Justin Fox. For those that don't know my first name, that's my real name. So, that's what it was at first. Yeah, so that's what it was at first. Was just Justin Fox. Because then I don't know why. I think it's because I was just lazy, and I just didn't. I couldn't think of a name that I thought really fits. I'm like, whatever. Let's just put my name out there. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I did feel uncomfortable with having my like actual name out there, just in case. Like it was more of like a paranoia type of thing, just because I'm very opinionated. So I was like, I really don't want to have my actual name out there, just in case I make some people mad, and then they just start like, you know, searching me out on Facebook or somewhere.
Oh no!
Just to like harass me. Yeah. So I was like, okay, no, I can't do that. But then when I started doing my newer videos, I wanted to be like a faceless guy. I was just watching a ton of like gaming videos, and none of those guys ever show their faces. They're just that's where it came from. A lot of the ideas that I have for my videos and like the new stuff that I do, a lot of it comes from gaming videos and, funny enough, like hip hop channels.
Oh,
a lot of people don't know that.
Is that why some of your memes are like?
Yeah,
your memes
and Yeah. And I mean, they'll never watch it. It's fine. They're like really big people, so they'll never watch my videos. So it's okay. It's okay
Oh my
if I
god.
steal some of their stuff. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be like a faceless person and just make whatever movies I'm talking about the like the main focus. But
Okay,
then I
yeah.
did a on my birthday in January. I did a like a Blu-ray haul that I bought a bunch of stuff on Amazon, and I decided to show my face, and apparently everyone loved it, so I just couldn't go back.
Well, yeah, like people love seeing like the face. It's just like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
there's a person. You're not just a
yeah.
robot.
Because that's I was gonna just
Thank
leave
you for
like the.
gracing us.
Thank you're very welcome. Yeah, I was just gonna like leave the face stuff to like live streaming and stuff, and then everything else was just gonna be like my voice or whatever. But
Oh, I see
yeah,
it.
it's yeah. I speaking of like stealing ideas from other channels, I have
Mhm.
actually had. Um, I won't say who because he's like me and him kind of
Oh,
have like a rivalry. He's like a
oh,
bigger, he's a
oh
bit of a bigger
no.
YouTuber. We both follow each other on Instagram. We both give each other shit. Like secretly, we'll
Oh,
secretly kind of throw jabs at each other. But
ooh.
he has actually stolen a few things from my videos, but
Oh my
I've never said
gosh.
anything about that because I was
Oh,
like,
until now.
this, yeah, and this guy, he's actually a really big YouTuber, so
Oh
I
my
kind of think
gosh.
that as flattering. I'm like, you know what?
Flatter, yeah.
I'll let you have that. You know, you'll never
Yeah.
admit that you stole that from me, and I'll never say it, but let's just kind of keep it a mutual thing. Like we both know. I know that you know that I know.
Yeah. It's kind of like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, like
Hmm.
I see you, but you know what? Like, it's fine. Like, oh, it is flattering. At the same time, it's kind of like,
Yeah,
excuse me,
which is why I'll
sir
troll
or
his
ma'am.
channel. I'll troll
Oh, do
his
you?
channel every once in a while, like because of that. I'll like leave a really like really obnoxious
Passive
comment on
aggressive
his videos.
comment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and on
It's like, by the way,
he's
I'm
messaged
here.
me on Instagram. Like, hey, I've watched your stuff before, so I
He's
know he
watching
stole
you.
that from me because he has
Yeah.
watched it.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, at the end of the day, it comes with, you know what, like even comedians get their stuff stolen from like all the time, right? And
Hmm.
I think one way or another people kind of catch on to it, you know. So I don't know how long this guy or girl, whoever, thinks that they can keep up with it, but I don't know. I think people they'll notice maybe one day. Like, hey, I think that was Foxtails first.
Hmm. Yeah,
Wow,
but yeah, back to
that's crazy
the
stuff.
name. Yeah,
Oh yes.
I just wanted to, I guess, still keep my name in the channel somehow, but
Hmm.
just kind of make the focus more about the movies or the subject that I'm talking about because I personally don't think I'm that interesting, so I don't want to be the main
Don't say
focus.
that. Don't say that. You are interesting. I've seen your stuff. Like, you are interesting. Give yourself credit, please. We never want to tear each other down. And you need to be like positive about yourself. It's number one rule
Yeah,
of thumb.
but that's also been my thing too, is just kind of being like self-degrading a bit, but
I
then
mean,
also
true.
like,
Me
I
too.
mean, you
I'm
do the
like,
same.
yeah, that's
You
true.
do the
I
same.
do it. I'm like, I'm literally dumb. Like, don't listen to what I'm saying. Like, everything in my videos, I think, like, maybe not like all of my videos, but there's been quite a few. I'm like, I'm dumb. Like, just don't listen to me. Like, forgive me if I miss things. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then yeah, I just thought it also sounded kind of, if it ever turned into something, I always thought that'd be a really cool name for either like a channel or maybe like if I turn it into some kind of like production thing, boom, there's a cool
Oh,
name for it.
yeah. Oh, Foxtail Cinematics definitely sounds like a production company,
Yeah,
100%.
that's why I was
I will
like,
pay
yeah.
money. I will give you the dollars. Start making some movies.
Yeah.
Would you
So
would you want to do that?
um I actually have I don't think I've ever really mentioned it on the channel, but I do write. I'm a writer, so I do write like a lot of stories and stuff like that in
Oh,
my spare
cool.
time. And I actually have written maybe like 2.5 kind of movie scripts.
Oh,
They were
that's
just for fun.
awesome. Oh, that's fantastic.
If I ever get the courage to actually like submit them, then maybe. But for now, it's just like something that I kind of like to keep to myself, just in case like it's not very good.
Oh my gosh. Don't self-doubt. I'm
Yeah,
telling
because
you.
I have a lot of ideas, and that comes from the same reason why I started making YouTube videos. The same reason is why I started trying to write my own stories, is because I just hate a lot of movies. And
Yeah. Fair.
or I don't really hate them, but there are things where I'm like, that could have been done differently and better. So I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Let me write my own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, I find myself doing that a lot too. I really try not to, because I'm like, "Ugh, I just want to enjoy what's being presented to me and just not have to nitpick or find things I don't like." But like it's kind of like implanted in my brain too for when I watch a couple movies anyway. I'm just like, oh, I find myself doing it too. Like, oh, like, they
Yeah.
could have done this, or why did they do that instead of doing this? Like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So kind of going along with that, do you ever kind of find yourself, because you do, commentary videos, do you ever find yourself just watching a movie just, like in your spare time and thinking, maybe I shouldn't watch this, maybe I should make a video of it? Like, has that kind
um,
of ruined your way of
my
watching
movie
movies?
viewing ruined it. I hate that I have to do this for YouTube now. It's ruined my movie experience. Um, no, actually, that's actually a really good question. I feel like now, especially lately, when it comes to, I guess like I'm more focusing on the newer releases now and kind of wanting to do commentary on like what's new and kind of like people are talking about and stuff.
Hmm.
So in a way, I think it's ruined. How can I say it? Like, I'm very impatient.
Yeah.
So it's made me test my patience a lot, because I know there's been a couple shows or movies where I'm like, oh my god, I would literally watch this as soon as it comes out. I would literally watch this 12 o'clock midnight as soon as it's released. I would have watched this like right away. And so it's kind of frustrating in that way, that I'm like, I just want to watch it like right now. And then I have to wait for it so that I can have the proper timing and everything to film. So it's kind of it's been a challenge in that way, but I wouldn't say it's ruined the experience though. I think
Oh,
when it comes to like a few movies, I'm like, I know like I'm probably not going to do a video on it, or if I do, like maybe later down the line and be like, oh, I watched this like a year or so ago, so it's like maybe not fresh in my brain. But yeah, like there's still movies that I do watch that it's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do a commentary on it, so I'll just enjoy. Yeah.
because I wonder about that with people who do like commentary. They're just like watching something, or they'll
Yeah.
just be watching something random and they'll be like, oh wait, no, maybe I shouldn't watch this because I want to do a video on it.
You know, there's one thing I will say actually, because I do get comments sometimes being like, "Girl, I just watched the movie. Like, why are you talking so damn much? Like, you talk too much over the movie." And I will say, like, one trick that I have with that is that I'll like watch maybe for like 5 or 10 minutes, like a portion of it, so I'm like focusing on it, and then I'll go back to it. Then I'm like, oh wait, like there's something that I want to say, so like I'll say
Hmm.
something and go back to it, or like vice versa. Like I'll talk over it, and then I'll be like, wait, like I should probably rewatch that part. So like I'll like go back and like actually watch it so I can enjoy and like understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So there is that too.
Are you a talker during movies?
Not with people. When there's like other people around me, I definitely want them to enjoy the experience, and I don't want to be that person to just like always have like a comment to say. But if it's a movie that I know like me and my boyfriend have watched, me and my family have watched, me and my friends have watched, if I know the group has watched it, then like we'll talk, like not just me,
Hmm.
but like yeah, like everybody will kind of like collectively just talk about it. But if it's a new thing, especially, like I'll keep as silent as possible, because I don't want to ruin anybody's experience for sure. Yeah. real life is definitely different from the YouTube me. Yeah.
So I'll definitely have that sometimes. I'll be watching a movie. That's where a lot of my ideas come from. I'll just be randomly watching a movie, and I start to think, why is this the way it is? Or maybe they could have done something different. And then I'm like, oh, boom, there's an idea for a movie, for a video.
Yeah.
And then I have to like write it down as soon as I get the idea, because I'll just forget.
Forget it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, exactly. Like, I literally have that habit where if I have a thought in my head, and then as soon as I walk into another room, I'll forget that thought. Like, it's so hard to remember things.
That's why I have like on my computer I have a ton of ideas. I also have a journal, and on my phone I have like, or even for edits, I'll watch something, and that's where I come up with my edits a lot of time. Is just like, that would be funny if these two things were together, or I could do this, and then, you know, some kind of like scene comes in my head, and I'm like, okay, and I have to write it down really fast in my phone and look up the video, because otherwise I'm gonna forget it.
Oh, that's really cool. So that's where you get like some of your edits ideas from.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really cool.
Because I'll just be watching a movie randomly and be like, you know what would fit perfectly right there is the scene from this movie.
Yeah.
I actually made a compilation video of that. I don't know if I'll ever release it. I've been thinking of putting it on my channel, but it's a I don't know if you've ever seen Friday After Next. No, Next Friday.
Can't say. I'm sorry.
There's a character. If you ever get a chance, look up the character called Pinky in Friday. And Pinky. Every single he's like a pimp or whatever, and he just isn't pink. And
okay.
He has an entire scene. You can even just look up that scene on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that entire scene is hilarious. And I was watching, of all movies, I was watching Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
And I thought every single line that guy has would fit perfectly in so many scenes in this. So I actually compiled like a ton of scenes and just edited his voice on a ton of like scenes from that movie, and they fit so perfectly.
Oh my gosh, you should totally release that. Yeah, you should.
That one, and I also have like, I was thinking about just doing like, there's a ton of edits that I have. I have like 20 plus edits that I've never shown anyone. I was just thinking about just putting them all together and just like throwing it out there.
Honestly, just do it. Like, just do it. I think like if there's anything, like, are you proud of them? You should be proud. Are you proud?
Yeah, I honestly think they're pretty funny. I mean, they make me laugh.
Yeah, so like anything that you're proud of, I say like just go for it. Like, just put it out there, because it's like, it's your work, and you know, you did that. So like other people will cheer for you. Like, yeah, like you did that. So just do it. Just release it.
So let's have another question from you.
Oh, from me? Okay. I have like a lot here, actually.
That's good.
Which one am I interested in? Let's see. Because that was in the title. Let's just go with that one. Yeah, let's talk about that. An actor, actress that you would spend the day with.
My other half would hate me right now, but I was saying.
Oh no.
I was saying I would spend the day with Saoirse Ronan, because like, I honestly think she's just absolutely gorgeous, and her accent is like. Her accent is just so lovely. I really like Irish accents.
Ooh, wow. Okay. It's like butter to you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like she could literally be saying like trash, and you'd be like, oh my god, just talk more. keep saying everything that you're saying. Like,
exactly.
Some people are just so like blessed with beautiful accents and beautiful voices. Like, that's definitely an amazing pick. Like, Saoirse, oh my god. Like, ever since she was young too, like she's been at it for years. Like, her acting, like, oh wow, like she's incredible. She's incredible. I'm so happy that she's still getting so much work.
Yeah, it's really cool to see like her getting all like the, you know, proper dues, because she has been in the acting business for so long.
She has.
So.
She has. I remember. Did you ever see Atonement with her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was tiny.
She was like, she was a little baby. She was so small. And now look at her.
What was yours?
Oh, am I supposed to have one? Oh my god. Oh god. My other half might hate me
Turn
for
the
this
tables
too.
on you.
I personally, oh god, I don't know. Like, I feel like this pick is so bad. Like, I feel like people are gonna be like, why would you choose this person over everybody? Like, this is dumb. But I can't help it. I would choose probably James Franco.
Okay. Yeah, I figured you were gonna say that.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it. Okay, but not just because of like how gorgeous he is. Obviously, I would say also because he's just like, I think he's hilarious. I think he's absolutely hilarious, and he seems like he actually has more to him than just like the acting chops. Like, because I think he was also part of the Disaster Artist and the creation of that movie. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Yeah.
But I loved that movie, and I think that he like put a lot of passion into Tommy Wiseau and his character in that movie, and telling the story of a man with a dream, and how he tried to make that dream come true. And we got The Room.
It's funny because that movie, like the Disaster Artist, could have. I remember when I first saw the trailer for it, and actually me and my wife saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
And I was thinking this is gonna be like the best or the worst movie ever. But either way, like I'm for it.
Yeah, right?
Because like we had seen The Room prior to that, and we were just like, I love that movie too. Like I love The Room because of just how bad it is. It is like, it's I don't know. It's just bizarre.
Yeah.
Like if you thought the Disaster Artist and like was bizarre in how they made it, the actual film itself is like, this is an actual movie that somebody made that, thought was good.
Oh my gosh. I've never seen it, so I actually would love to see it. And especially after watching that movie, like I'm surprised I never brought myself to watch it. I think because I want to watch it with people. Because I feel like if you watch it with someone, it's like even better because you can both be like, what is going on?
I used to, when I lived at my mom's, I remember I'd always have like my cousins over all the time to like watch every kind of like weird movie that I could think of. I'm like I'm pretty much like in my circle of friends and family. I'm pretty much like the only person who's really into movies. So they would always come to me like, oh, what do you have that's new? Or like I was like that movie guy, like, oh yeah, what's this? And like, what kind of movies do you have that are just super weird? And I'm like, oh, you don't even want to know. Let's sit down. I'll show you something.
I have some weird stuff. Like, oh, that's cool. You're like the go-to movie guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you what would you say? Let's go with like 3. This is actually like just like a question. Like, what are 3 weird movies that you would have to recommend? What would you say? You think of like weird.
For me, like one of them, it's kind of not really well known, but it has like a bit of a cult following. Like it's called Basket Case.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Basket Case is like one of the oddest movies I've seen. For those that haven't seen it, like it's not really too much of a spoiler, but basically it's about a guy who carries around a basket, and inside the basket is his mutated twin brother. Like he was attached to him like at the hip.
Oh, okay.
Like, they were separated by a doctor, and they didn't want to be separated. So the beginning of the movie is basically just like them trying to get their revenge on the doctor that split them apart, and he carries his twin brother inside of a basket. And there's like 2 sequels, and they're even crazier. But the first one is just like something so strange.
Have you seen the sequels?
Yeah, I've seen the sequels.
Oh my lord, that actually sounds absolutely nuts. Yes, you have.
Yeah, I really like.
You have convinced me.
I really like a lot of like B movies, like a lot of like B horror. That's what I like. I'm not a huge fan of horror films, which I've made very clear. But like I just love B horror because they're just so bad.
Like Sharknado.
Yeah, I love Sharknado. Honestly, like it's just so good.
Oh my god, that's fantastic. B movies definitely have like a place, you know? Like B movies are like a special creation of their own. Like whoever like came up with like whatever goes on the screen, like Sharknado, it's like it's just it's so good. Like it's one of those, yeah, like so bad that it's good. You can't help but like love it.
Yeah, I'm sure they weren't thinking it was gonna be like, you know, anything Oscar. It wasn't gonna be Schindler's List, but
Yeah.
but it ended up being like extremely popular, and it did very, very well for itself. So
Oh, definitely. Oh, that's fantastic.
And another one, it's a movie that I think is just really, really well made, and the ending always has me like, what? And it's Enemy with by Denis Villeneuve. Enemy is one that I really, really like.
Yes. Yes. I give you all the cookies for that one. That's like, it's so good. And that you mentioned the other, you know what? It's so funny because as soon as you said, oh, this is one like that had one of those endings, like that was like one of the first movies that came to mind. I was like, I wonder if he's gonna say Enemy. Wow, it's
I
so
remember,
good.
Yeah, I remember showing my cousins that, and every one of them, like at the end, were like, "What the fuck?"
Right?
Like, what?
Right? Oh my god! Like I know,
And
I
it's
wish
actually,
we could talk about it without spoilers, but
yeah, it's actually based on a novel, a Spanish novel that I've actually read, and I think that's why I like it as much as I do, because the book ending is actually different from the movie ending, but I think the book ending is like so much better, and it's even weirder.
Really?
Like if you thought the like ending of the movie was weird, like the ending of the book is like okay, like it makes me think like, man, I wonder if they tried to go for that ending, or if they're just like, well, like, no, let's just try this.
Okay, I'm literally gonna Google it like after, like, because now I'm super intrigued. Because I definitely thought the ending that they had with the movie was nuts. Like, I thought that ending was just like insanity to me. And then what people take away from it, like I remember I went on like a bender of like the theories and like the meaning and like all these things. So, oh my gosh, I'm really curious with what the book ending was, because the one I saw was already insane. Wow.
Yeah, and the last one, the third one, I would say probably like an older one would be there's an old movie that like is considered like one of the worst movies ever, but I think it's just so odd and weird, where I'm just like, there's something intriguing about it, and it's called Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Never
it's
heard
like
of that.
it was like a weird knockoff of like the Cabbage Patch Dolls, but just very, very gross.
Like maybe that's why people don't like it.
Yeah, it's like, but it's so, for some reason, like even when I was a kid, when I first watched it, to this day, I'm like, I know this movie is just absolutely terrible, but there's just something about it that intrigues me. Like, it's just so bizarre that it's like, I don't know, like it makes you wonder, like, what were these like writers and directors thinking when they made this?
What was going on in their brains when they like thought about all this?
And I love that. I kind of, there's something odd about just that intention of like, did they intend to make something this weird and bad, or was it like genuine in what they were trying to do? So that alone, just like, I love it.
Well, with what like you described to me, that sounds pretty insane. Like that sounds insane. That sounds insane to me. So, jeez, weird Cabbage Patch Dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I wonder if that was in the pitch. A weird Cabbage Patch Doll.
It's gonna be a really gross version of the Cabbage.
Gross version of it. Sold.
And they're like,
let's do it. We'll give you the money for it. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I'll make sure to get on the two. So the first one sounded pretty.
Basket Case.
Basket Case, and then this was called
Garbage Pail Kids.
Garbage Pail Kids. Okay. Basket Case and Garbage Pail Kids. Okay. I'll make sure to watch those.
Whoops. Nope, don't want to do that. All right. So another question I wanted to ask you was channel related. Do you have, like, we were kind of discussing this a little bit ago, but
Yeah.
do you have not a favorite? Do you have a least favorite video of yours, or do you often like go back and watch stuff and be like, I wish I did that differently?
Oh my god! Do you know which one I'm gonna say for this one? You know which one I'm gonna say for this one. There is one.
And I have a follow-up question.
Oh,
to
yeah.
that. There is a follow-up question.
That'll be
well,
great.
I'll let you answer, and then the question will kind of like segue.
Know. You
Okay.
probably know. If there is one that I could do differently, and it would definitely be Cruella. Movie commentary. Fuck my life. That was horrible. And I guess the explanation would be that, it was definitely not well received. The thing is that, like, I hated so much is, like, so with, like, the new releases and, like, the new movies coming out, I really want to try my best to keep on top of them and try and get them out, like, as quickly but efficiently as possible. So still edit it, like, to, like, the way that I like it edited. Like, don't rush the editing, but still, try and get it out as quickly as possible. So with that one, I literally, like, I had, like, skepticism. I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go, because, like, I don't know, but I had hope, though. I did have hope. I was like, I really hope this is one of those that, like, at the beginning I'm skeptical about it, but by the end I'm gonna, like, just love it and be like, wow, like, that blew me away. I'm happy, like, I was blown away, but no. And then that's the thing too, is like I didn't want to be like super harsh on it or anything. I feel like I was, and like I never want to be like so harsh on a movie, especially like like by the end of it too, I knew like there would be people that love it and are 100% in their right to love it. Like, everybody should love whatever they love, and like, just because I had a miserable time, I don't want other people to have a miserable time. But yeah, I really wish that, I don't know, like, I wish that I knew going into it what I was getting, because I did only see the trailer and the poster that was Cruella. So I did go in with, like, kind of, like, thinking, okay, so we're going to know, like, these things about her. We're going to see her being, like, super evil, like, by the end of it, like, and see, like, a bunch of the, like, I don't know, I just had, like, a bunch of thoughts that I thought what we were going to see. And then when that wasn't happening for me, I was just, my reaction was just I was like, what is happening? Yeah. I mean, what is going on?
For those in the chat, if you are not aware, Becky did a commentary to the Cruella video, or the Cruella movie, and needless to say, it was
horrendous.
But if you haven't seen it, go watch it, and
don't watch it.
It's that was a weird one, because I was there. I actually watched your video like before all the crazy comments. So like, when I had watched it and commented, there really wasn't a whole lot of negative comments there at the time. I try to watch your videos like, as soon as I see them, I'm like right there.
Thank you.
So and it wasn't until I got back to it, because I saw someone commented on one of my comments. So I just like, okay. So I checked it, and then there was like a whole thing on my comment, and I was like, what am I missing? And I checked, I started reading through the comments, and I was like, oh, okay, now I see what's going on here. But I mean, when I watched it, I'm usually a pretty good, I know when someone's being very negative about something, but yours didn't come off like that. Yours didn't come off as, how people were trying to make it seem.
Thank you.
I thought you were just being genuine, and I was like, okay. I mean, I've talked very harshly about certain things, but I think it's, I think people just, I don't know, maybe people were just intimidated to say something to me, but I come off pretty obnoxious sometimes too, and that's okay. But I think I do it in a way where it's like joking, where people don't, that's kind of my thing. I like to do it where people don't know if I'm actually being serious or not. And I like that. I like being very vague.
Definitely.
for that reason, you know, I don't want to just straight up be like, oh, I think this movie's trash, because I know people are gonna
come
say
after
something to me. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the thing with like this one too, is like I didn't want it to be like I don't think it's trash, because I don't think it's a trash movie. Like I've seen trash movies, it's not, but like, and then I did try to be like, yeah, like I did like these things about it, like I thought there were like some great things about it, because there were, but I guess yeah, like there was just, I don't know, a lot of the stuff I said just really rubbed people the wrong way, which it's fine. I mean, it is what it is. But if I could redo it, I 100% would, because I will say that I would rather love something and be like, yeah, like I love what I'm seeing, like, and that other people can also be like, yeah, like it was so good, like all these things, rather than just not liking something. So yeah, I really wish that I could have at least I don't know, I guess been more lighter and more positive, I guess, on my comments, because I really didn't want to make it seem like bad.
I think, honestly, if you look at I mean, it's all engagement, whether it's negative or positive, it's engagement. And honestly, if you look at it, that video has like so many views, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the newer subscribers that you've had came in straight from that video. They saw that and were like, I don't agree with you, but you know what? Hey, I'm here for it. Or other people just completely agreed and were like, all right, yeah, this girl's got something going, so I'm going to stick around for it. So I would see it as a blessing.
I mean, I guess in the long run, maybe, but definitely, like, I will say, like, that 1 week was, like, so harsh on me. Like, I hated that week where I posted it. There was actually, for about a day, I privated it. I took it down because I was getting so many, like, notifications, like, you suck, like, you don't know what you're talking about. like, so many bad comments. I was like, oh, like, this is, I can't read these anymore. Like, this is so mean. So then I did take it down for a little bit, because I'm like, I just don't think, like, I can handle this. Like, I can't have the video up anymore. But then, but yeah, like, after, like, talking with my parents, my boyfriend, they were all very positive, very encouraging. And they're like, you know what? Like, you worked hard on that video. Don't let people get to you. Like, there's always going to be, like, bad comments, like, whatever you do. Yeah. Like, you can't please everybody. So just, like, keep it up. And, like, eventually it'll go away, and, like, people will forget about it. And I'm like, okay. But then the week continued, and they're just continuously kept happening, and I was just like, oh, I hate this. Like, I hate it so much. But I was like,
I feel like, you know, that wouldn't be your persona, but, like, for me personally, if I had a video like that, I would be trolling the comments nonstop. Nonstop. I would be making so many people angry, like that. But that, you know, I would take that as an opportunity, being like, oh, hell yeah, you know, that I think of it as like it's engagement, you know.
That's true. No, and there are a lot of YouTubers that do that, like, that they're like, you know what, like, you hate on me, like, let's go, like, I got some shots to fire back, like, yeah, like that. There are, yeah. I'm just I'm more legal. That would be fun. I would love to see that from you.
I just have to make like a really like clickbaity video, and I could. Yeah. I mean, I honestly have. I do actually have some videos where that ideas that I know will get a lot of get a lot of people very mad. So I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Not yet. I want to get like a bigger audience before I do that, just to supplement, you know.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I did love is your Brokeback Mountain with your title. Like, tell me wrong, or like prove me wrong. Like, this is the best movie. Like, I love that title alone.
That one, I actually, it's becoming one of my favorites, because some people don't know this, but I actually took that video down the first time I put it up.
No way. I didn't know that.
That it was because of the subject matter, and it was kind of like some behind the scenes stuff where I was like, okay, I know for a fact there's some people that don't want to watch this because of their personal beliefs, and it showed because like I got like one comment. I won't say who it was, but there's like one comment where I was just like, okay, yeah, that proves my point. So I did take it down, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna re-upload this. But that first one was really just to prove a point, which I proved to myself. So
Good.
And then I re-uploaded it, and then there was like a ton of like really positive stuff. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
well, right, then it stays.
Yes. And I was right there with you. I'm like, you know what? Don't listen to those people. Brokeback Mountain is fantastic, even though I've never seen it. but it is supposed to be like such an amazing movie. So it's like whoever's coming after you,
it's,
like.
Yeah, it was just kind of weird because I was just like, I kind of wanted to just like out a lot of people who just have like that really like macho mentality. That's kind of why I did that video, because a week or so prior to that, I had seen like some like it was a live stream about like talking about movies, and they were kind of making fun of Brokeback Mountain in a way that was like really kind of not super homophobic, but kind of, you know, they were kind of like, I was just like, I don't know, bro, that's not really cool, you know what I mean? So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this video and I'm gonna just praise the hell out of Brokeback Mountain because I love it so much.
Fuck yeah. I'm proud of you for doing that. Good, because like,
and
literally...
but I also wanted to make it funny, which is why I threw in those clips and stuff, because I don't like to make things too serious.
Oh, definitely. Like, yeah. Never.
Because even when I do talk about something like a serious subject, I have to throw in some kind of comedy in there just to, like, you know,
to make up for it.
Yeah.
Do like the whole Marvel trick, you know?
Yeah.
You know, Marvel always throws in a joke whenever it's too serious.
Yeah, it's like it's too serious. It's like, oh, it's getting too serious. Throw a joke in there.
Like, let's throw a joke. Yeah.
Let's throw a dick joke in there.
Yeah. Let's throw a dick. That's what she said. Let's do it. That's what she said. Yeah.
Those are actually my favorites.
Yeah, I can't really take things too seriously
or
either.
When that's why I threw in that, like, really, that the ending of that my Blu-ray haul. I threw in that, like, bye bitch at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Because I really didn't want to do that video. That's why I titled it what I did, because, like, I was like, I really don't want to do this video, but I'm going to do it.
Well, you did your explanation too, and like,
yeah.
It was a really good explanation too, and you know, now you can do what you want and do the videos that you want to focus on.
Yeah, I'll definitely do like hauls and stuff, but probably just like very rarely. And I'm gonna make a very big spectacle of it. I'm just gonna do the most ridiculous like stuff in the video.
Do it.
Just to kind of like, you know, like do a little bit of trolling and just kind of make it very obnoxious.
The ultimate troll is Foxtail. So I love it.
One of the other questions I wanted to ask you was about editing.
Oh, yes.
While we're on the subject of editings.
Love editing.
That's I honestly, I love your editing. It makes me, I am so jealous of your editing. Like,
oh my gosh,
your stuff is like top tier in my opinion. That's why I love watching your videos, because they just make me laugh, and your editing is just hilarious.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Your timing is like great, and that's really what I try to do in my videos, is just like make the timing so good. Because I've seen other people do videos where they throw in like video clips and edits.
Yeah.
And they're just so misplaced, or they're just way too many, and I'm like, bro, like we don't need like this weird edit, you know, every 10 seconds.
Yeah, definitely.
So like I wanted to ask you, how do you feel, because I assume you do all your own editing?
Yes.
Okay, I'm assuming correctly. Okay,
that is the right assumption.
Okay,
you assume good.
So I wanted to ask you how you feel about YouTubers who don't do their own editing.
Ooh,
because that is a thing. Shady. That is a thing, believe it or not.
Oh God. Oh, who don't do their own editing, that you're saying.
Like in general, like what do you think of like those YouTubers that don't edit their own videos?
Wow. That's a loaded question. So I think I've only come across maybe like a handful. Like I think the majority that I watch
it's mostly just like kind of bigger ones.
Yeah, right. I think the majority that I watch do their own editing, but yes, there are the few. Honestly, I think I think like it's fine. It's just I think it's all like an equal game when it comes to that sort of thing, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming the ones that don't do their own editing, they will give a portion of like whatever they're making. Like let's say they are bigger, like I'm assuming that they will give a portion to the editor because they are doing part of the work. If not, then I think that is wrong because
Mm-hmm.
editing does take a lot of time and a
Yeah.
lot of effort. So I think like as long as they are supplementing to the editor and making sure that they get the credit that they deserve, I think, like, you know, why not? Like, it's fine. Do what you gotta do. I mean, if you don't want to, because it is a thing that some people like they're really good, yeah, like with the camera, they're really good talking, but like I guess they have a hard time with the editing, and
Mm-hmm.
so if you can collab and like find an editor that you know meshes well with you and your personality, and I guess like you both agree on, you know, the editing style, like what you want in the video and stuff, then yeah, like it's I feel like it's like by all means just go for it. Like why not? Just do it.
Yeah, because I asked because I've always made it known that like editing is probably my least favorite thing to do, even though I love doing it. Like there are times where I just want to rip my hair out because I can't get something correct, or I'm just sitting there like, okay, I don't like that, I don't like this, and I'm just like cutting things out. Like I'll record like a 20-minute video, and then like what you'll see is like 5 minutes because I'm just
Oh
like,
God, yeah.
I don't like any of this, so I just like toss it. So, and I understand like this question for me is kind of weird because I'm kind of like 50-50. I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, you know, there are people who just aren't good at editing, and if you can find somebody who can, you know, do that for you, by all means, if especially if you're helping somebody out. But on the other hand, as well as someone who does do all their own editing and stuff like that, it kind of, you know, kind of rubs me the wrong way because I'm like, here I am struggling and, you know, doing all my own work, and somebody just hands it off to somebody else like, yeah, here you go, bro. But there, you can tell when some people are very genuine about that, but I don't like the people who are very obviously just handing it off to somebody else because they just don't want to, you know, do it. And because I'm like, that's the major portion of, and I find that weird because that's the major portion of videos is editing, because
It's huge.
I mean, you're literally just like clicking a button on the camera, you know, talking and blah, blah, blah. That's all. You're done. But the person editing, if it's yourself or whoever, they have a much harder job than that. You know, they have to, you know, remember what, you know, what you like and what they think will fit best here and there.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's definitely a weird thing for me sometimes when I see it. Because I'm like,
You're like, you know
I
what?
don't think
Maybe
I
I
would
should
ever.
just hire an editor.
Yeah, because it's also weird because I've been approached by other people and asked to edit their videos,
Okay.
and like I was just like, I don't know, because I just don't feel comfortable doing that at the moment, because I want everything to feel organic. I'm gonna throw in way too much of my own style into stuff.
Yeah.
And that might not, you know, that might not fit the personality of that person. So I'm like, you know what? No, at the moment, you know, I'm gonna have to pass on that. But I have been asked a few times to edit videos, and I've always thought like, oh yeah, I would more than, you know, I'd be more than happy to do so. But that's the thing is, I don't want to interject too much of myself into their videos.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that must be, yeah, because I've never gotten approached or anything for editing, so that must be like, yeah, very interesting, because exactly with what you're saying that, sorry, my hair just, I'm so sorry. No, but yeah, with what you're saying, yeah, because like it's your style, right? So it's just like, it's like, oh, like, I don't know if this is like your style because this is kind of like me and like what I like and my editing type of thing. So that must be like a very, yeah, tricky thing to I guess cooperate with someone else and make sure that you're both kind of doing what you both want to do in that collaboration. Yeah, never really thought about that. Very good question.
Yeah.
Very good question.
That's how we do it here.
I never thought about it, honestly. I'm just like, oh yeah, like there's other, yeah, there's YouTubers that do that. Yeah. It is a lot of work. Editing is a lot of work.
Yeah, I like to ask the questions that like I like to ask the burning questions that I
That was burning.
sometimes am afraid to answer myself. So I'm like, let me kind of put it on someone else
me
and
ask
see if
someone
we
else.
think the same thing.
No, yeah, because editing is hard. It's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely takes up the majority of my videos anyway. Like I'll film for like 2 hours or so, and then the editing takes like over a day usually.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like sitting for hours, like going through so much footage and doing so much, and oh god, it's a process. It's a process.
For me, it's definitely the video edits that take up more time, because I'm like, well, I mean, I don't intend to say funny things. It just kind of comes out. So then I'm like thinking, unless I like scripted it, which I don't like to do, I kind of like to let it just be more organic, and I'll say something funny, and I'm like, oh, boom, that would fit perfectly here. But now exactly. I have to find the right clip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like finding the clips too. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it takes so long. Find the right meme.
Yeah, definitely. And I also have to make sure it's not like something. It can't be too new, because then it just seems weird. But it can't be too old either.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like
because I just edited a video. I just edited like a minute-long clip that I did the other day, this past weekend. And before we were on here, I was kind of finishing up some editing stuff, and I threw in a meme in there. I'm like, is this one still relevant? It's like it changes so fast.
It does. Oh my gosh, it really does. It's crazy to keep up with memes, meme culture. Can you believe that? We're in a culture of memes. We're trying to keep up. I know, I feel like old sometimes. There's like, I like see like TikTok things sometimes too, and people like mentioning like names or whatever, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm literally like, I'm so not with the times. Like, oh my gosh, it's so hard to stay hip and relevant.
I do that ironically. That's what I like about it. I do it so ironically. That's why I'll throw a lot of like, current slang or whatever, or the memes in there, because it's just very ironic. I really don't think a lot of stuff is that funny.
This isn't that funny.
Yeah, it's not that funny, but it's relevant now, and it's like funny because that's why I love the juxtaposition of my video edits sometimes, is because you look at me and you're like, okay, and then I'll throw in like an edit or a clip from like a hood movie.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
And I love that so much, because I know a lot of my audience is, like, it's I don't want to say that, but like, I know a lot of my audience is, from different, from different backgrounds and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the general audience of like the film community and stuff are just like, like middle class people or whatever. But like I'm from a very urban area. I live in a middle class neighborhood now, but like I grew up in a very urban area, so I still have that like sense of humor.
Yeah.
And so that's why I throw it in there, because it's funny, because I know that my audience aren't the type of people that watch those kinds of movies or videos. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna throw some like hood humor in here, and people won't get it, but some people do, and it's so funny when people are like, I understood that one, and I was like, oh, okay, that was funny.
No, and it's refreshing. It's refreshing, because I don't usually like see that in other videos. I'm like, every time like I see one of those in your edits, I'm like, huh? What was that? Excuse me? Like, it throws me so off guard, like, which is so great, because exactly, like I don't see it in like just like any other video. So that's I love that you do that.
That's what I wanted to do, because I just wanted to like throw people off guard, like they'll be watching my video and then all of a sudden there's like some rap video or there's some like weird thing in there. It's like, what the hell is this? What was
that? It's quality. It's quality. I love that you do it. Please keep doing that.
And that's why I made that edit of that one I was talking about of Batman versus Superman, because it's like it is entirely that, and it's so funny.
Then post it.
I'll have to like
petition for you to do it.
I'll let you know. I'll send it to you.
I'll start the petition.
And you'll let me know what you think, and I'll decide if I want to post it.
All right, that sounds good.
let's get through some of your other questions.
Ah, yes.
Because through conversation, we've pretty much answered all of the questions I had for you, except for like one or two. And that's what I love. You know, once we get the conversation going, we just naturally answer questions.
I know, that's like what happens, hey? I like it. I love that. It's just like, it's just natural. Let's see. I have like so many here. Okay. Let's do...
Right. Let me have it.
I will. I really will. Oh, you know what I'm actually curious about? Okay, I don't know if you do. So this is like, it'll be either like a great answer or not, because I don't even know if you do. Do you have a favorite guilty pleasure trash TV show?
I actually do.
I don't know if you watch them. Okay, yes.
I had to think about this one. I'm gonna lose subscribers. I know it. I like kind of unironically love The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
No way.
Yes, like I'm sure people do not, but that's kind of how I feel like I'm in like an enigma. I just love things that if you take a look at me, you know, see tattoos, and I look like a skater because that's what I've been doing like my whole life. I just been a skater. I'm a skater boy. And,
all right, Avril Lavigne did that song on you.
Yeah, but I just love just so many different things, and people get so weirded out. We're like, what? Because like it's funny, but I like make it no secret that I love Taylor Swift. Like I love her music. I love her.
No way.
Like, I've had the hugest crush on her since like I was a teenager.
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
And it still continues. My wife hates it.
Well, she has the voice of an angel, so
yes.
Can't really get mad.
Also, I think it started when I was younger because my mom used to watch it. My mom would watch like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette because it's been going on for like years and years.
Yeah.
So she would watch it, and I'm like, Mom, why do you watch this stuff? And she just like sat me down one time when we were eating dinner, and we just like kind of went to the living room. And we're like, and she was watching, and I was like, I don't know why people like this so much. And as I'm watching it, and I start to get it, and I'm like, okay, now I get it. I get why people love this because it's just so
entertaining.
Yeah, it's trash, but it's like entertaining, and it's like
good trash.
It's hard to look away. There's like all kinds of drama and crying, and I love it.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Right?
It's weird because it sounds mean, but I love watching people cry on TV.
Because it's like funny in a way.
It is like I love, especially
your pain is my pleasure.
Yeah, that sounds so mean. But on The Bachelorette, The Bachelor, actually, you're like guaranteed to see like these women cry pretty much throughout the entire episodes, and I love it. I love watching it. It's so fun.
And it's like, so I don't know about you, but I find it intriguing too, like to see like, oh, who are they gonna end up with?
Yeah, it's
who will they pick?
Yeah, it's a good guessing game. You know, I think that's why a lot of people love watching, because it's the same thing with like any kind of reality show that's a competition. Even though people will see it as a romance thing, at the end of the day, it is a competition show, and I love competition shows. Yeah,
same. Yeah, that's a good one.
And it's and like in my adolescence, like, you know, as a teenager, I loved watching The Bachelor because I'm like, wouldn't it be? I would kind of like picture myself like, wouldn't it be awesome to be like the one dude, and there's like a ton of gorgeous women trying to get with you? Like, that is the dream.
If only that were me.
Yeah,
living
like,
vicariously. Oh God, yeah, that's honestly great pick. I think you will gain subscribers for admitting this, in my opinion.
I'll start doing reactions to The Bachelor and stuff. That's fun.
Do it. Tune in every week. Foxtail. Foxtail Bachelor.
And we can guess. Nice. Like, that's the other fun too about it, is like trying to guess like, oh, she's gone.
Who's gonna win?
Oh, she's gone. You know.
Exactly. And sometimes they'll just like throw a curveball, and it's like, what? Really? Like, oh, yeah, so good. It's fantastic. Fantastic.
Anything else?
Oh, I guess I have some more. How about... Oh, because I love trailers. I love trailers. They get me so hyped. Like, and a well-edited trailer, I'm like, oh my gosh. So my question would be, what is the best movie trailer or trailers, like, it doesn't have to be just one, that you've seen that have gotten you, like, super hyped, that you're like, whoa, like, that has sold me. Like, I love this. This looks fantastic in the trailer.
For me, I think I can only think of like 3 trailers that like I watched, and to be honest, I think they're like some of like the best trailers ever. The first one has to be Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise. That's like one of my favorite sci-fi movies. And the trailer to that had this really cool I can't remember the name of the it's like a duo that make music or whatever for trailers, basically. If you look up like trailer music on YouTube or whatever, like one of their, I can't remember what their names was. It's like some kind of weird name that sounded like it was from like Dungeons and Dragons or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, like the music, I actually downloaded that song and I listen to it all the time. It's just like a really slowed down kind of weird techno sci-fi version of no, I think it's an original song, but that was just like really, really cool, and I had never heard anything like that before. Wow. And then the trailer just like made it awesome, and then the movie ended up being just incredible.
Fantastic. So. Oh my gosh.
And pretty much any time, it's really the trailer song that sells me.
Yeah.
So and I really love like slowed down remixes of songs. So which is why the other trailer that I really love is the one for Mad Max Fury Road.
Okay.
That trailer had like a slowed down version of I think it's like what was it? It's like It's a Mad World or something like that.
Oh, did they?
It was just really good. Yeah, something like that. I think that's what it was, and it was just incredible. And the movie's awesome as well.
Yes, fantastic movie.
And I think the last one was the first trailer for Logan that had the Johnny Cash song. Because I love Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash is like my favorite artist of all time. And that awesome. Song is like so heartbreaking. I remember the first time I heard that song, like I legit like teared up. Because I kind of knew like, because Johnny Cash was very old at the time. And the song kind of like perfectly represented like his entire career. And then the music video too, like I think is like one of the best music videos of all time. Every time I watch it, I'm just like tearing up, like, oh my God, because like,
like this is so
I've been a huge fan of like Johnny Cash since I was a kid, and to see him like at the end of his years where he kind of pretty much knew he was dying, that's why that song is just so heartbreaking too.
Oh God.
So when I first saw it in the Logan trailer, I was like, Logan's gonna die. Like, okay, what?
You're like, this is. Yeah. I see it. I see what they're doing here.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh my God! Like, you throw in like one of my favorite songs ever, and then I already kind of like knew what the movie was gonna be. So like, it sold me, but I was also like super sad.
Oh my gosh! Wow, when a trailer actually like gets you in your feels, they did something right. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, okay, I have to definitely look at those afterwards too, because I don't remember any of those trailers, which is terrible, because I should remember those. But they sound fantastic, and I agree, like when it comes to a good trailer, like the music is, it's one of the keys, I think. Like it can really get a trailer feeling like a type of way, and the anticipation, like building a lot from it, so yeah 100%. Oh, that's fantastic. Ooh, those are good picks. I can't wait to watch these now. Like, I'm like low-key a trailer junkie. Like, I love just like watching trailers. Like sometimes. Yeah,
every once in a while, I'll go back and like remember a trailer being very good. And I'm like, oh yeah, this one had a really good trailer. And I just kind of go back and watch it. We'll actually do that when I'm talking about movies and stuff, and I'll just like get the trailer and stuff to throw into my videos while I'm talking about it. So I'll rewatch a lot of trailers for that. So
have you seen
I'm like constantly watching them,
the trailer for Last Night in Soho?
I have not. I haven't.
Watch
I haven't really
it.
watched too many trailers recently, which is kind of funny.
Oh, watch it. That one got me so excited. Like I can't stop like thinking about that trailer. It's so good. Like that one was like a really good trailer. It's like new. It's like a new one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like
I can't remember I'm trying to remember like a really recent one that I saw. I don't think anything's really captivated me just yet.
That's
I mean,
fair.
I'm sure there will be, but just
Yeah.
not yet. I mean, the last thing that I was like, the last trailer I was like super hyped about was like Zack Snyder's Justice League, but that was for like
Yeah.
totally different reasons. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I have been wanting to see this movie for 4 years. So
Yeah. Yeah. Finally getting it.
yeah, and now I can watch it at home because I had it imported from the UK.
Oh my gosh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's so good.
which
Oh
is
wait,
weird
that's
because
right.
like,
I saw the video that yeah.
yeah, the UK got it like last month, and I'm like, why don't we have it?
I know. Like,
And we're
what
not
is
getting it
this?
till September, and so
Wasn't that
I
one
was
expensive?
sort of. I got it during
Okay.
the Amazon Prime deal, so I mean, really, the only thing that cost a lot was the expedited shipping because I had to have it imported. But it really wasn't
Shipping.
too much, so it was only like $12 really.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
usually, like,
That's not too bad.
that's why I had to jump on it because I'm like, well, right now they have it for like $30. The
Yeah.
shipping is $12.
Yeah.
Usually to have something, because I do a lot of, when I did do a lot of my hauls and stuff, a lot of the movies that I got were imports, and so I know how expensive it is. So when
Yeah.
I saw that, I was like, you know what, I got to get it right now, and it came
Yeah.
super fast too. I was thinking I was gonna have to
Yeah.
wait like a couple weeks, but it got here like in literally 4 to 5 days.
Wow.
It was
That's
like
really,
super fast.
That's
So I was
impressive.
like, whoa, okay.
Amazon.
Yeah, so I was
Damn.
like, so that's why I had to make that video because I was like, I went on the live. That's why I did the live stream. So I was like, I really want to show you guys this because it's awesome. And I'm sure a lot of
Yeah.
people were jealous because like they have to wait till September to actually own it.
Yes. Definitely.
I've watched
Yeah,
it like I don't know
that's
how many
great that you
times. Like my household is just tired of watching it already.
The full 4 hours you've watched so
Yeah.
many times? Oh
I've watched
my god.
well even before I got the physical like copy of it. I had
Yeah.
streamed it on HBO Max like no lie like almost 10 times.
Oh my god.
So that's like 40 hours.
wow. You
But
are
it goes by
committed.
so fast.
You are
Yeah,
so
I'm-
committed.
especially for I've been waiting for this forever. I remember when I watched the theatrical version of Justice League in theaters,
Yeah.
and as soon as I left, I like was very just like confused. I'm like, this isn't what I thought we were getting. And so
Yeah,
I
fair.
even like posted about it, and I even tagged like Warner Brothers and stuff. Like, I know this isn't the version we were supposed to get, so
Yeah.
I need that like ASAP.
Yeah.
And then like right afterwards we get the news of this isn't really the movie. So I'm like, I knew it. I knew this wasn't the movie we were supposed to
You're
get.
on to them.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's the thing that's like crazy too about studios, hey? Is like sometimes the director will have all these ideas and have made something fantastic, but then the studio just like, claws them. And is
I mean,
no, have to have it this way.
there are so many scenes from that movie like where I'm just watching it and thinking, what idiot thought, this isn't good, let's take this out. Especially scenes with like the Flash. The Flash
God, I
has
heard
2
that was-
scenes in that movie that are like honestly some of the best scenes that I've ever witnessed in any comic book movie. I actually have a video that I'm currently working on about my favorite like movie scenes of all time.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And there's a scene from Justice League involving the Flash that is literally one of my favorite scenes of all time. And
wow.
every time I watch it, I'm like, some idiot said, no, let's not.
Take this out.
Yeah, take that out. And I'm like, oh, God. Why?
Someone fire
Why?
this
Why?
person immediately because it
Yeah.
should have stayed. Oh, well, don't hate me. I
And
haven't
it
seen it yet.
yeah, like I there's so many people that it's like a commitment thing. You really do have to commit yourself to 4 hours, but it goes by so fast. Like,
Because that's the thing, yeah. Like I really wanted to too. Like it's not like I've been avoiding it or anything. It's just
mhm.
I don't know. I think it is just because of the 4 hours that I'm like I haven't been able to just fully be like, okay, I'm gonna take
Yeah.
my 4 hours out of my day to watch this. But
Or
I
you
really
can,
do want to. I really want to.
Yeah, you can cut it into parts. It has like parts, like part 1, part 2, whatever. which is why
Oh,
you can
okay.
just stop at a certain point. That the actual physical release, I don't know how it's gonna be in America, but
Yeah.
the physical release that I have is chopped up into 2 discs. So the
Oh,
first
okay.
disc is like the first half, like the first couple hours, and then the
Okay.
second disc is the next like 2 hours.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay. That's really cool. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
maybe
I'm
I'll
telling you,
watch it
the
in
the
parts then.
the 4 hours just goes by so
Quick.
fast. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I believe it. I do like Snyder. I know a lot of people hate him. He gets a lot of hate, but I actually like him. So I have faith that yeah. And I've heard like pretty much like nothing but good things about
Yeah,
his version of Justice
it's
League.
funny
So
because like with how big it was, like it's funny that Warner Brothers is still trying to hide the fact that it wasn't a success when it clearly was. Like the physical copies when they first started putting them out for pre-sale, they sold out in literally like 2 minutes.
really,
It is like the most pre-ordered like physical media like ever.
oh my
And
god,
like even when
that's
it
crazy.
premiered on HBO Max, the
Mhm.
site shut down for a while because it got overloaded with people trying to watch it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah,
So
then
yeah,
I don't know
like
what Warner Brothers is thinking.
yeah, they're I mean, they kind of have to because that movie made them look stupid because it showed that they were very very wrong. So they can't admit
Right.
guilt. A big company like that can't come out and be like, "Yeah, we were wrong.
We were
Yeah,
wrong.
we were wrong."
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Like,
so
by the
they're
way.
not going to do that.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
But we all know that they were wrong, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we know.
Mhm.
We know, and we got the version that we wanted, so at least there's
Yes.
that. Oh,
Okay. So let me see.
I think I
Okay.
could do probably like 10 more minutes, if that's
Mhm.
all right.
All right. All
Yeah,
right. Let's shoot off some more questions.
all right.
I think I only have like one or two, and I actually want to save those to the end.
Okay, so then I will shoot mine. So, oh god, I guess while we're on the topic of superheroes, what for you? I will say, besides the obvious last Avengers movie, what would you say was your saddest Marvel moment?
I'm gonna troll a bit on this question, but
Oh, okay. Troll away.
the the saddest moment in a Marvel movie for me was when Steve Rogers gave his shield to Falcon and not Bucky.
Oh my
Because
god. Yeah.
I've made it known that I
Rip.
do not like Anthony Mackie whatsoever. I cannot stand
Yeah.
that guy. So when they were like, "Oh, here, you're the new Captain America," I was like,
You were like,
"Hmm,
what?
no."
No. Please
I've
no.
gone as I haven't even watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I just like refuse to watch it. I
That's
will
fair.
not watch it. I
That's
refuse.
fair. Is it in protest of the fact that he's now Captain America?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
solely because of that. And the fact that
That's
they're like
fair.
moving on with a new Captain America like movie for him, I'm like, nope, I'm
Are
good.
they? Oh, I
I
didn't know they were
am,
doing
yeah.
that. Oh
They're
god.
they're pretty close to getting that deal done. And I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Oh, that was a great answer. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people are right there with you. Like, I don't think you're the only one that feels that
Hmm.
way. And I remember I went to see it with a bunch of friends, and when we left the theater, I think all of us collectively were like, "So, I guess he's the new Captain America." I guess sure, but like, yeah, I like everybody was thinking that it was gonna be Bucky, and especially too considering that he's like his best friend since
Yeah,
like
that's
we're
the other thing.
young.
It's like, oh hey
So
guy, like yeah, I know you're my best friend and you've helped me through a lot and blah blah. But yeah, here's that guy's gonna get it.
yeah, but like I'll give it to this guy that I've known for like a couple years. Like,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I know. For me, I think why I didn't like I wasn't like a huge fan of the decision. Personally, was more for that reason. Was just because I'm like, oh, but wouldn't it make more sense like just for the character that it's like you would give it to your most bestest friend that you love dearly? That's like a brother for you, like you know, like that. That was just like it for me. I'm like, I thought it would make more sense in that way, but I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen Falcon and Winter Soldier
Yeah. I haven't watched
either.
any of the Marvel shows.
Oh, I watched
I just
WandaVision.
I just hear that they're like filler and like set up for movies, and I personally don't like that.
You're
Like I
like,
don't like
nah,
that.
I can pass
Nah. It's
that.
like that's why I didn't really care for Captain Marvel, cuz it just felt like a giant
A
commercial
filler.
for like a giant setup for other stuff, and I'm like,
Mm, that's
like I don't
fair.
like
I
I
don't
don't
think.
that's why I get a little, I guess, like the fatigue of it, of franchises, because a lot of times when you have that many films in a franchise, some of them are gonna feel like filler.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like
Yeah,
here, we're
definitely.
gonna, this is gonna hold you off, and boom, there you go, have that, and I'm like,
Yeah, I think at this point, like everything kind of feels like a little bit filler until Spider-Man No Way Home.
yeah, I mean, even
It's like,
at the moment,
when
I
are we
think,
getting the trailer? When is
yeah,
that coming?
I don't know if I don't know if you keep up with like reviews or anything. I personally don't, but it's hard to not hear about them. But like I already hear that like Black Widow is not even getting all that well received. It's like
Yeah,
very split.
yeah. No, I have seen the more recent reviews. I am gonna actually like yeah, I'm gonna do a commentary on Black Widow. So we'll see how I feel about it. But yeah, like the early reviews, I have seen those too, and yeah, the majority are like, no, like it was fine, or like
Yeah,
it just was, okay. Yeah, there hasn't really been that many people saying that they loved it or anything, which is kind of
yeah.
concerning to me.
Besides like fanboys who love everything Marvel does.
True.
That's why I can't take. Um, I don't like hearing reviews from like huge Marvel fans about Marvel movies and TV shows, because I'm like, well, are you genuine about it, or are you just saying that because you love everything Marvel?
That's
Like
fair.
I
Yeah.
personally love. I also really like Marvel movies, but I'll admit when one of them's not
It's
good.
not the greatest. Yeah,
Same with like
definitely.
DC movies. I really love the DC movies, but if there's one that's bad, I'm gonna straight up say, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I would say too, like I love Marvel movies. I think like all of them are fun. I will
Hmm.
say, like I don't think any of them are like particularly like bad or anything, but there's definitely like ones that it's like I didn't like love it, but it was like
I
enjoyable, I guess. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I think only two of them I think are just straight up bad.
Which ones? Can I ask? I want to know.
um,
I'm
well,
so
maybe.
curious.
Well, the first one, in like my honest opinion, I think is really bad, and a lot of people don't talk about it, and people are afraid to admit that it's bad. Is Iron Man 2?
Oh,
Iron
really?
Man 2 is really bad. It's
I
bad.
haven't seen it in years, so like I have no idea. Like I forget it. Absolutely forget how it is. Is it? It's
Because
bad.
yeah, I remember my cousin. My cousin's like a huge Marvel fan and Iron Man fan, especially, and even he admitted like that he's like, yeah, Iron Man 2 is bad. And he's like the
Wow!
biggest like Iron Man fan in the world, but he was like, Iron
Wow!
Man 2 is bad.
Oh my God! Isn't
Yeah.
that where they introduced Black Widow?
Yes, she was
Ah,
literally like the only good thing about that movie.
interesting.
Like
Wow. Yeah.
I just hate the one gripe I have about Marvel movies is the wasted talent. They have a habit of wasting a lot of really good actors. Like in
Okay.
Iron Man 2, they had Mickey Rourke, who had just come off his Oscar win from The Wrestler, and he
Ooh.
was
Yeah.
terrible in that movie. And I
Oh
love Mickey
no.
Rourke. I really only watched it for Mickey Rourke. I was like, oh, Mickey Rourke's gonna
Yeah.
be the villain in this Iron Man movie. Dope. And I watched it. I was
Yeah.
like, no, Mickey Rourke. Even Mickey Rourke has come out and said that like
He
he
wasn't proud of
hated that
it.
movie. Yeah, there's been a
Wow.
ton of like ex Marvel actors who have talked really bad about Marvel movies. They're saying like they're just really bad.
Oh my
And
gosh.
they even had who was it? Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell is like one of my favorite actors. Super
I
underrated
love
actor.
Sam. I love him.
And he was so bad in that movie too.
Wait, he was in that?
Yeah, he was like.
He was in that?
He was the villain, like, who was supplying Mickey Rourke's character with like weapons and stuff. But
I didn't even know he was in that.
yeah, and I was
like, I have to
God,
rewatch that
so
now. Because I love Sam Rockwell too. Like, I love him. So that like amazes me that he was in that. And I haven't seen it in years. I think the last time I saw it was when it was released. Like, I haven't seen it in so long. So that's kind of crazy that Sam was in it. And like, yeah, he's fantastic. I think I love him too. So wow. What was the other one?
I don't. This one's kind of a hot take because it's Thor. The first Thor.
First one?
The first Thor. I personally don't think it's terrible. I just hate the way it was edited. The editing in that film is complete trash. Like the angles, like they have so many like weird like up angled like Michael Bay like early Transformers stuff. Bay. And I'm like, why is it edited this way? Like there's so many like weird like shots looking up and they're tilted. And that just like gave me a headache. I'm like, why is this editing like this?
Oh wow!
Like because like I studied film in school and stuff.
Yeah.
There are tons of movies that I hate, not because they're bad filmed, because the editing of the films are really bad, and Thor is one of them. I think the editing is just so bad. I couldn't even watch it.
Oh my God.
Another one, if you're interested.
Another one.
Not a bad movie, but I absolutely hate it because the cinematography and the editing is complete garbage. Is the first Hunger Games?
Okay. A lot of the
first
shaky cam.
Yeah, there are shots in that movie where there's literally no movement and the camera is shaking. I'm like, oh, I could not stand that movie.
That's so true. There's a lot of that. No, I that one I do remember thinking the same thing too. I was like, oh wow, there's like. What is happening?
The action scenes are like so chopped up, and you can't even see what's going on. I'm like, this is terrible. Whoever edited this movie needs to be fired.
Yeah, you feel like you're kind of like on a literal roller coaster. Like, not the movie is taking you that way plot wise, but the camera is like making you feel like you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
That's true. That one, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, it has like a lot of that shaky cam and like it's hard to balance shaky cam. I feel because I feel like some movies like they do it really well. But it's like you have to be like you have to be careful with it that you don't do too much and that it's like your audience is kind of lost and
the movie that has like the most like gratuitous shaky cam and probably like the worst shaky cam ever is the movie Alex Cross with Tyler Perry.
Oh, I've never seen it. Okay.
That has like literally anytime there's an action scene, it looks like they literally were just shaking the camera back and forth. It's so bad.
It makes me wonder sometimes. It's like, is that on purpose that like maybe it just doesn't look good what's happening in front of the screen? So they're just trying to make it look like something's happening, or like trying to keep your mind distracted from what's happening. That's why they do
headache inducing.
It is very headache inducing. Oh, that's hilarious. Wow, you had some picks there. I love it. I love the honesty.
Yeah. This is the only place where I get to be honest.
Good. Yeah, be honest. We're a happy, honest community here. We don't judge. Is there any more from you, sir? I have to be going soon.
Okay.
I have dinner waiting for me.
Same. I think I can hear. Oh yeah, we're having spaghetti, so I can smell it.
Delicious.
It's my favorite food. I can eat it all day, every day.
So good. I don't blame you. Spaghetti's like a classic. Ever since I was a child, that was a famous one for me too.
You sorry, I was gonna ask do you speak Spanish?
I do, yes.
Oh, okay.
Not like So it's not the best. It's not like I can just go to a Spanish-speaking country and they'll be like, oh yeah, like she sounds like she's from here. No, absolutely not. It's I would say it's like broken Spanish that I can get what I'm trying to say across and get my message across, but I'll probably miss like a word or so or a pronoun or whatever it is. Yeah, that it's
But it's the pronouns that get you. It's like,
yeah,
it depends on how you're saying it and then who you're saying it to.
yes, yeah, it gets me every time.
Because I learned, I've had like 3 ways of learning. I learned as a kid from my mom, who learned it from my grandpa, who's well, I'm full-blooded Native American, but my grandfather, he, when, you know, like way back in the day, he was working in fields and stuff. He didn't speak English. All he spoke was our native language.
Okay.
So the only other language he spoke was Spanish, and that he learned from his friends working and stuff. And so he taught my mom. Cool. My mom taught me, and I also learned like in school. I when I was in college and stuff, I took a lot of Spanish classes.
Oh, cool.
And I've also learned from. I mean, in Arizona, like there's literally you cannot go anywhere without. I feel like, especially like in southern states, like in Arizona and New Mexico, things like that. If you don't know Spanish, you're not gonna get very far in a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it really does help you out a lot, especially down here. So in my line of work as well, like I work with a lot of Spanish-speaking people, and a lot of them don't speak a ton of English. So, like, it's helped me out a lot.
Oh, definitely. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the States, in comparison to Canada, definitely more Spanish speakers.
Yeah. That's kind of that's kind of what I wanted to ask too. Is like, does it feel weird being like, you know, a Latina in Canada?
Oh God, I mean it's very interesting to say the least. It's interesting because there's definitely not as many Latinos here in Canada, or where I'm at anyways, and there is like just the handful. I have met a handful, but it's crazy. It's definitely more. There's a lot of white people, a lot of Asian people, natives too, but with
natives are
Latin,
everywhere.
yes, but Latin, yes, beautiful, but yeah, Latin, there's like not many here, so it's I don't know. Guess I'm a little bit of a fish out of waters.
Because I felt that growing up as well, because the neighborhood I grew up in was very diverse. I was literally like, my family were literally like the only natives around, and like all of my neighbors were like, the neighbor to the left of me was like a white family, and he's actually like my best friend to this day. Like me and him grew up together.
Oh, great.
We still chat and all that stuff. He lives pretty far, but like we get together whenever we can. Like the neighbors across from me that I spent the night with all the time, or they would like babysit me. They were like Mexican, and it was a very diverse neighborhood.
That's awesome.
But it still felt odd because I had never really, apart from like my family that lived in like my mom's hometown, which was like a 30-minute drive, and we would only see my cousins like once a year. So I never really got to interact with a ton of other natives. And in my school, I was literally like the only native kid there. I didn't even go to school with any other natives until I was in high school.
Wow.
And it was only until high school that I actually like interacted with other natives, and it was just so weird.
Oh, that's crazy.
Even though they're like everywhere now, back then, you know, a lot of them had never really left the reservations and stuff. They kind of just stuck to themselves. But now, you know, now they're just everywhere. I went to Flagstaff, which is like a town about an hour drive from where I'm at, up in the mountains and stuff. It's very, very pretty place. It's cold and everything. When I went there for my birthday, when I used to go there as a kid, it was like nothing but white people. But when I went up there this year, there was like natives everywhere.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, where did all of these natives come from? It's so weird. So I was like, oh, okay. So
it's like awesome though, right? That it's like, okay, like I see more of like my culture, you know?
Yeah. But it's also weird because like it's funny. It's like a weird like inside joke with like natives is that like we all hate each other. So when we see like other natives in other places, we're just like, why are they here? You know,
Oh no. Oh God.
it's kind of like a funny like inside
An
joke.
inside
I work with like two other native guys, and we're always like making fun of each other, like why are you like, you know, like always making a
Why are you
bunch of
here?
native jokes, like why are you here?
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. I
But
don't
I
think
kind of love that. I love that we're able to joke with each other about stuff like that. I feel like people are just way too sensitive
absolutely.
nowadays.
Oh yeah. Oh definitely. Yeah, you gotta be careful with a lot nowadays. But I mean, yeah, I mean that's fantastic though that, you have like your jokes and everything and it's all like cool between you guys and everything. So
Yeah, I always say
yeah.
I'm like the worst native because one, I didn't grow up with, I didn't grow up in the culture very much. I'm very much like a blend of everything because that's where I grew up, was a very diverse neighborhood, which is why I love stuff like Taylor Swift, and which is why I love,
Yeah.
you know, indie films, which is why I grew up skateboarding and listening to like a
Yeah.
lot of like heavy metal. That's like my favorite type of music. And like my wife is white, so that's like I'm like the worst native.
You're like whitewash.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, like same. Like I can relate to that because literally, like anybody who talks to me, they're like, you're literally white. Like stop acting like you're Latina. You're not. Stop
You're not.
claiming this. You're not. And I'm like, no, like that's what I am. Like I swear. Like my parents both came from Nicaragua. Like yes, but no, yeah, and especially with I guess how I talk to. I'll admit, like I have a very I have a
Definitely.
quite the voice. Everyone says I have a white girl voice.
Yeah,
So
I've heard that. I've heard that too.
yeah,
I'm like, because I
yeah,
speak with proper grammar.
yeah. I'm like, I don't know what that means,
Yeah, I'm
but
like,
I'll
well,
take it.
what is a native supposed to sound like? I do a
Yeah.
very, I don't do it often, but I do a very like very good stereotypical like native voice.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's like it's hilarious. I do it all the time for like people. They're like, "Are you native?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I'll like start doing it.
This is it. Yeah. This is a stereotype.
This is-
I know. I've gotten that before too. That like people ask me like, "Oh, can you like have a Latina accent?" And I'm like, "No, no, I can't do that. I don't know how to. This is my voice." So. That's so
Okay.
funny.
So the last question that I have for
Yes.
you, this is gonna be a. I wanted to save this one for the end. This is
Oh,
just a fun one
juicy.
to kind of just a kind of
Oh,
fun one to end off on. I like to like start off with like fun questions, and then we get into
okay.
like the really complicated ones that, you know,
There's some
and then
complicated ones. Yeah.
then we'll end with a fun one. I
Sweet.
was gonna ask you, what is your favorite video of mine?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. Would you be mad if I said a Blu-ray haul? Would you be mad if I say
Okay,
that?
so a Blu-ray haul and another one.
No. That was a joke. That was a joke. Honestly, like if I'm being honest, because I know I mentioned already, but like it's because I love it. I actually really loved your Brokeback Mountain one. That's been
Mhm.
my favorite so far. I know it's like newer, but like I was so engaged with what you had to say about it and with like all the movies that you listed. I love
Mhm.
it. I really love when you talk about like movies and like what you love about them and that one in particular, like you really went deep into the discussion, like which movies that you love and like why. And I thought you had like a lot of thoughtful things to say, but also kept it really light and funny and had some fantastic memes in there.
Yeah.
And I think too, like I really love too that you got more personal when it came to Brokeback Mountain and your story about it. That people kind of were like questioning you, like why you love it
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much. And
I've
I just
always had
love
that. It's so
hearing,
weird.
yeah, I like love hearing stories like that because it's just like, oh, like really, like people did this to you and gave you weird looks and weird things about something that you love, like why, you know?
Mhm.
So I really loved that video for all those reasons. That's probably been my favorite one. And you had a lot of great things to say and defended yourself very, very well too. That it's like, well, Like, I don't care. Like, I love this movie, so judge all you want, but I'm gonna stand by it. I love it, so I loved it. Yeah, I love that video.
Yeah, that's a good answer, and that was also a test to see if you really watch my videos.
I do watch your videos. I do. It's not just comments.
I appreciate that. That's why. That's like I said. That's why. That's why I praise you so much, because you are literally at the level where you don't even have to acknowledge someone on my level, but you do. So I truly appreciate that.
Oh my gosh, no levels. I don't like looking at it as levels. I just looking at as like people, and like everybody's passionate and doing what they're doing, and with like everybody that I've subscribed to, like originally from when I didn't have like too many subscribers, like I still love watching like all your videos and love showing like the love and support any way that I can, because you're all awesome.
Yeah, that's what I always try to kind of put out, because from my own personal experience, I have been subscribed to people who were pretty much started about the same time I did, before I like took my break and like deleted everything and started over. And a lot of those people have gotten to pretty big levels, but they just kind of along the way just kind of stopped acknowledging, the people who were there from the beginning. Like myself, I have someone who is on a pretty big level at the moment, and I've actually tried to reach out to them about like doing the live stream and just like collaborating on stuff, and they're just like, I'm really busy or whatever. But I'm just like, it's fine, it's all good. These live streams are really like a test in a way of seeing if the people I support really want to show that love back, it's just kind of like my little thing too. I'm like, all right, well, let me see who's really
real?
like,
who's
on my
real
side.
one?
Yeah, who's real and who's not. And you're definitely a real one.
Thank you. Well,
because you could have easily been like, yeah, I'm busy. No.
Nah. Well, the thing is, like, oh God, like it is busy, like keeping all the balance to life and having everything. But if there's one thing that I knew, like, is like if there's any way that I can give like the love back, that especially you, like I have to say, like, you are one of the kindest. Like, you are absolutely kind. I really appreciate it, because I know in one of your videos, like, you also defended me with Cruella when I was having such a hard time with that too, like, and you've been like nothing but support to me as well. So I'm like obviously, like, I have to give the love back, like like I'll feel terrible. Like, are you kidding me? Like, so, and like, you're just fantastic. So
Thanks, you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay. Yeah, so for me, to answer that question, there are a few. And it mostly has to do with like I said, your editing, because I love your editing. So my favorites of yours always has to be the ones where I just like cannot stop laughing at something.
Oh God.
And I think at the moment, it might change with newer videos.
All right.
But currently, my favorite one is the video you did on Spring Breakers.
Oh, really?
Because I just love, there was just so many jokes and like edits in that video that I was just laughing at so hard.
Really? Oh my God, that was one of my more nastier ones.
Yeah, I think that's why, because like everything up until that point had been like pretty family friendly, I guess. But that one just kind of like showed your like very funny humor, because that's why I really love your videos, because I feel like you and I have the same type of humor.
Oh yeah.
That's why I really like your videos.
We like some what's it called? Out there humor.
Yeah.
Some very out there humor.
I like the humor that makes people uncomfortable.
Yes,
I love
uncomfortable humor.
Yeah.
I
like
love
cringy,
that too.
like cringy humor. I'm all for it.
Me too. Oh my God, and it's funny that you mentioned that video too, because actually that was one of the ones that I had so much fun making and editing, because I was like, there's so many like moments in here that are so like that I'm like, I really want to edit this in a way where it makes people a little uncomfortable. because I am uncomfortable. So, oh, that's so funny. I'm so happy that you like that one, because yeah, like I really enjoyed making that one.
So would you say that's your personal favorite at the moment, or do you have another favorite?
Ooh, that's a good question too.
Like of your own?
My own. That's definitely not my favorite of my own. I think. Is it weird too? Like, do you ever like laugh at your own stuff? Because there has been a couple where where I've like laughed at my own stuff. Like, I'm so dumb. Like, why am I doing this? I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what one I do love actually? I don't know. Like I don't know. Yeah, I really liked that one. I loved my Army of the Dead one. I think that was
that was gonna be my second answer.
Oh, really?
It was that one. Is the Army of the Dead. I love that part where that like zombie was getting like machine gun and you call him like a watermelon.
You know what too? I wanted to like actually show it, because I'm like, I feel like people might not understand because I can't show it because of censorship. Like YouTube's, kind of picky with those types of things. So I'm like, I hope people get what I'm saying when I say that he's a watermelon.
I definitely got it because I had seen the movie already. So.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Oh my god, I'm so happy that you like that one too.
Yeah, that one was a funny one.
That one, I had such a blast editing that one. Like, there were so many times I'm like, okay, I like this. Like,
yeah,
this is a good one.
There's definitely a lot of those for me as well, where I'm just like editing and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so good. But I'm always like wondering, like, are people gonna get it? Are they gonna like it?
Yeah, that's the thing too. That it's like, I don't know if people like this one.
So when someone acknowledges in the comments too, like, oh, I really like this part or whatever, I'm like, oh, okay, that's
yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, like I'm not the only one that likes this.
Like for me, of my own,
yeah, your favorite, yeah.
I think I have a few, but it mostly has to do with the fact that like I really love the editing in it.
Is it like, Blu-ray haul?
Honestly, that kind of is like one of my favorites, just because like. People like acknowledge that I really did not want to make that video, but I did it anyway, and like the fact that it got so many views and it's so like well received, I'm like, it was like it's like a love-hate. I love it that everyone loved it, but I hate it because they loved it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's like, damn it, that's not the point.
Yeah. That's why I think one of my earliest videos, the directors You're Not Allowed to Hate video, is probably my favorite, because that one wasn't supposed to be. It was probably like my first like kind of trolling video in a way, because so many people didn't understand. Like I loved it because it was so split that so many people understood that I was satirizing what I was saying. Yeah. And then the other half like took whatever I was saying as completely true when it wasn't supposed to be. Yeah. Like I make fun of Quentin Tarantino and his fans and stuff like that, and him loving the N-word. Yeah. And people were like, some people were mad about that. Like they hit me up in like Instagram and stuff. Most of the like the negative stuff I get is like on Instagram, where people like DM me like, hey man, like I didn't like that. So I like that. I'm like, all right, well that's cool. Keep it to the DMs. Don't put hate on my channel. Keep it in the DMs. That's funny.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, and like I make fun of like Christopher Nolan fans, and I make fun of Zack Snyder's fans, and I make fun of like people who like Fight Club, and and some people got it, like, oh, I get it, you're satirizing it. I get it, because the jokes were obviously really over the top.
Exactly. Yeah.
and
like,
then
I'm
the
not
other
trying
half,
to like hate, but
yeah. And then the other half of the people are like, oh yeah, I completely agree. Tarantino's overrated, or I completely agree. And I'm like, okay, that's funny. So that's definitely one of my favorites. Yeah. Because of that split, I love it so much.
Yeah, I think exactly. Like my favorite videos from you is definitely when you have like a very strong thing to say, and you have things to say, and when you're kind of being a troll, like a little bit, Like I would love to see like more of those videos from you, because they're like.
I definitely do have a few in the works, but ones that I said that I know that will make people mad, so I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a safe bet with what you're saying. Like maybe wait until like you have like a little more backing, so it's like they know like you're just joking and you're just trolling.
Another, yeah,
They
the
don't take it too
other,
personally.
yeah, the other favorite of mine I think it depends on my favorites is like the type of video. When it comes to like the commentary video, that's my favorite one. When it comes
Yeah.
to just speaking about movies, I think my favorite one was the Surf Ninjas video that I did.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's a personal favorite because one of the actors in the movie actually like reached out to me on Instagram and was like, "Oh, hey, I watched that video you did and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh my god, that's so awesome." At first I didn't know who it was because they were like super young in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were like, I posted about it on Instagram and they hit me up like, "Oh, I remember this movie. It was a lot of fun making." And I thought it was like a producer
Yeah.
or like a writer or maybe the director. And then I looked them up and I was like, "Oh, that's the guy from the movie."
Actor. Oh my
Yeah, and I
God,
was
that's
just like, "Oh, that's so
crazy.
cool." And he's like, "Yeah, I
That's
watched your video," and
fantastic.
he's like, "It brought back a lot of memories and stuff." And I was like, "Awesome!" So that's
Oh,
definitely one of my
that's so
favorites when it comes to that.
fantastic. Oh my
And then
gosh.
the other one of my favorites has got to be like where I interview myself because
Oh yeah.
it was it was so fun to make, and it was
Yeah.
like in a way its own little movie because
Yeah,
I'm playing
yeah,
two
yeah.
parts, and you will not
Myself.
believe how hard that was to
Oh, I can
talk to
imagine.
myself.
Yeah.
Like the editing in that was insane, which is probably why it's like my favorite that I've edited because like the editing had to be so perfect. I had to
Yeah.
overlay some of my dialogue onto what my reaction was to what the other person was saying, and it was like
Yeah.
it was so I almost didn't upload the first one because
Really?
I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to edit this to where it looks like I'm literally talking to
Interview
myself.
myself. Yeah. No, well, it looks like effortless though, and like you
Yeah, that
definitely
was
should be proud.
so hard.
That's definitely, yeah, like it rightfully so should be one of your favorites because like being able to edit all that and make it look like effortless, like I can only imagine how long it must have taken you and how like
I was
frustrated
literally
you
like
must have been.
I was literally like talking, and then I'd have to run to the other the other
Oh my
side
God.
and like pretend to react to something that isn't there. And then I had to like change wardrobe. But I loved it because it was so fun to make because I got to play like an exaggerated version of myself.
Wait, so
Like-
question, did you script it? Was it scripted?
Yeah, it was scripted.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Some of
I was
it
like, I
was
don't know
like
how you would have done it otherwise.
yeah, some of it was scripted, but other times I kind of just went off of what I would naturally say.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, I like that character that I was playing though. I should bring that character back
You should.
when I'm like trolling, when just
You
being
should.
like a total ass. I'll play that character.
Do it. Do the anti-Fox.
Yeah. And then the second part was even more intriguing because I was like, well, there's this whole like thing going on. I started seeing like a lot of interviews of people doing it like via Skype and stuff because of like the pandemic. So I'm like, boom, that's easily the way I could do it. And I just did it that way where I'm like on a live stream talking to myself.
Yeah, like actually like genius. Like I don't, and that's like I commend you on that too. Is that like you're always like innovative and like thinking of new ideas and new things to do because like I can't. I don't know how you come up with like all these ideas and like you're able to like, create all of this, and you're definitely like not like a one trick pony. Like you have like so much variety to you, so I really commend you for that.
Yeah, and that's
so
only
many
like the
different videos.
beginning. I still have like so many ideas that I need to get down. I'm really for the viewers right now. I'm working on a video about like my favorite movie scenes of all time, and I think you'll enjoy that one because that one I go very in depth of why I love those scenes, and like I'm gonna have to. I already know like it's gonna get hit with a copyright because I'm gonna play like the entire scene.
Oh
because
God.
that's like the only way I could really showcase like why I love the scene so much And to like cut it up and edit it to where YouTube's not going to hit me with anything, it would just wouldn't make sense. So I'm like, I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah.
It's going to be risky, but I'm just going to do it.
Just do it. You need a little bit of risk.
Yeah. I've had a few copyright strikes. I got hit like my very first one. I had to completely cut out an entire section of a film because the director and the producer themselves told me like, yeah, you can't like have this in your video. And I was like, well, what if I like cut it down? And I even tried that and they're like, no. So, and that was the first time. And it was weird because it was like a really big company that like reached out to me and said, yeah, you can't have this in your video. And I'm like, I'm a no one. That's so weird because I'm a nobody, and I thought like, well, I'm a nobody, like no one's gonna care if I use this clip or whatever. Apparently they saw it and were like, no.
They find you.
And this was for an anime film that's really big right now, but at the time a lot of people weren't talking about it, so that's why I wanted to talk about it. And so the Japanese like producers like hit me up in an email as well as the YouTube thing. Yeah. And they hit me up in an email like, yeah, you can't use that. And I'm like, I'm giving you publicity. Like I'm talking. I mean, I would understand if I was saying bad things about the movie, but I was like praising it. I was talking about how good it was, but they were like, no.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Well, that's like a compliment in a way that they found.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, awesome. That was awesome.
That. Yeah, it's still like a good thing in a way, Yeah,
I still have the clip.
Insane.
I actually still have the clip and the audio for it, so I'm thinking like one day I'm just gonna throw it out there again.
Let's do it. Just for the heck of it, why not?
Yeah.
Get in trouble again. It's worth it. Yeah, copyright's like insane. It's insanity. How many copyright strikes I've gotten floors me to this day. Oh, and then sometimes you get them like later too. Like I know for some of my other videos too. Yeah, like it was fine when I first posted it, and then like within like a week or so, it was like, oh, actually, we found this
yeah, I got one like 2 weeks after.
Yeah,
I did like that. I did one for the Monster Hunter trailer, and it wasn't like 2 weeks, and like 2 weeks later, they're like, no, and that video got blocked in like a few countries. So
it's insane.
But I'm like, whatever.
It's the price to pay.
Yeah,
it's the price to pay for YouTube sometimes.
Definitely.
Like, nope, don't do this. Stop on the list. But yes, okay, fantastic. I will let you eat your delicious spaghetti. I don't even know what my dinner is going to be. I think I smell chicken. I think. I think that's what I smell. Any last? I don't know how you usually send off. Any last words?
For now, we'll just I'll let you go ahead and plug your channel to everyone watching.
Hi.
A lot of people in the comments in the live stream they know who you are, but for those that don't know you.
Oh God. I am Film Freak Becky. I'm a freak. So if you like freaks, you can subscribe to me at Film Freak Becky. I do mostly commentaries. That's my main focus, but sometimes I do talks. Maybe on the offhand I'll do reviews, but it's mostly commentaries on my channel. And if you like hearing me talk with dumb jokes to say over top of movies, because there's a lot of that, then yeah, that is pretty much my content. So hi.
And you definitely got an audience for that. Goes to show that. I mean, you have great content, so. I assure you, her content is a lot better than she's making it seem.
Maybe. Come at your own risk. Yeah.
So yeah, it was an awesome live stream. We'll definitely have to do this again.
Yes.
I know you still had like a ton of questions to ask me, so we can save those for another live stream.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm incredibly humbled and appreciative that you have come on to the live stream. This is probably going to go down as my favorite live stream. Sorry to all my other guests.
Oh my god.
I've still got a lot of other like this whole like live stream series is going to be. You are.
Joking.
Like the guests have just are getting like better and better. Like every time I've been able to talk to other people, like asking them to be on the live streams, it's just better and better. So I'm like super excited for all these future live streams. But for now, this is going to be my favorite. Just because, like, you know, we've always had great conversation, and you've always just been a really good supporter of my channel. And
you to me too.
Yes.
Like, I'm so grateful. Literally, even like my mom, because she looks at my comment section, and she's like, "Who's Foxtail?" Because he's like really nice to you. She's like, "That's a really nice person, whoever Foxtail is," and I'm like, "I know." So it doesn't go unnoticed. Like you are fantastic, and I really appreciate like all the love and support. So yeah, and I can't wait like to see the rest of your live streams and who else you get on here, even though they're obviously not going to be as good as me. But...
we won't tell them that.
Joking.
Every new guest will be my favorite.
Yeah, you say every time. Oh, this is my favorite. No, this is my favorite.
That's what I'll end the.
Every time.
I'll end the live stream like that. Oh, you've been my favorite.
You've been my favorite.
It's like
do it every time.
It's like Arnie and Jingle All the Way when he's like, "You're my number one customer."
Oh my god, yes! Jingle All the Way, wow! Do you know that's like my favorite Christmas movie?
Now I know.
Is. Yeah, now you know.
Mine's a Christmas Story.
Ah.
I have to watch that every single Christmas. Every Christmas morning, pop that in.
Aw, that's so sweet. That's the one where he like sticks his tongue in the pole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a cute one.
Yeah. So, thank you to everyone who was able to join in. I know I wasn't able to get to your questions, but go ahead and leave them in the comments if you'd like. We can answer those. But like I said, whenever we get into conversation and stuff, being able to to get into the comment section and do all this stuff, it gets pretty hectic.
It's hard. It's very hard. I don't know how people do this.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't either. It's pretty hard.
It's very. I'll read like through everybody. Aw. Unwrap the movies. Oh, these are so nice. Hi everyone.
Definitely.
Aww. Fantastic.
A lot of my usuals. We got Austin. Awesome. I've had Austin on the live stream. JC, Rev. Couple new people. That's awesome. Sly,
Sweet.
Another guy. Sly,
Sly's
another
awesome.
dude I want to get on my live stream. I have to hit him up.
You should get Sly. Yes. I'm subscribed to him too. He's great.
There's Daniel. Daniel's always a big supporter. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
There's Love You Beautiful. I think that's for me.
Obviously.
I
wouldn't think any other way.
You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. A lot of people talking about your editing, which is fantastic. Obviously.
Oh gosh.
You must share your secrets with me.
I will.
I'm gonna steal your stuff.
Sony Vegas. I'll say that. That's my editing program.
Sony Vegas. Yeah. I use like a very basic one. Well, I use Filmora.
Okay.
But like that one, it just works so well for me. Like everything I need is just so user friendly. Like everything is just so simple. And like the structure of my videos, I don't really need anything more advanced than that. I mean, I would like to, but for like my videos, and that's kind of the fun aesthetic of my videos is that they're kind of crappy, which is what I like.
They're good crap.
Because I drew a lot of inspiration from South Park. You ever see like the original season of South Park? The editing is just like super bad.
That's definitely,
but that's what made it so funny because because the animation looks so crappy.
Absolutely.
So that was kind of my thing at first. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make my editing just so crappy.
Like South Park.
It's gonna be South Park. And you'll see progression. And you'll see the progression as it goes. South Park, hip hop channels, Literally,
Yes.
like a lot of the topics that I come up with are from hip hop channels that I watched who
that's
had like
fantastic.
really awesome like topics about music, and I'm like, I could, you know, relate this to movies, and it would be a very
Yeah.
good topic. So I'm like, boom,
Yeah.
and they'll never watch
Done.
this, so it's okay. And
We're
gaming
fine.
channels, a lot of
Oh
gaming
yeah, the
channels
gaming
too. So I'm
channels.
like,
Yeah.
so I owe
That's
all of
awesome.
my success to those kinds of channels.
Well, it's like, yeah, you always draw inspo from something, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. All right, so
Well,
well, I'm gonna let you go. It's been an
okay.
awesome live stream.
It's been a
You're my
time.
number one customer.
I am your number one customer. You're my number one customer. I've never done a live stream. This has been fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, and thanks for being
Yeah.
letting me be your first.
Thank you for having me on here and being amazing, being a fantastic host. Everybody subscribe, whoever is new and like
Yes,
not
subscribe
subscribed.
to
I push
Becky
it. I
right
push
now.
it. No, to you.
That's I think of it.
To you.
Whatever.
Thank you.
Well, to both of us, all right?
Yes, to both.
Everybody go subscribe to my channel if you're here for the first time, Foxtail Cinematics. You can follow me on Instagram at Foxtail Cinematics as well. I'm trying to be more present on my that account. I'm usually on like my personal one, but I've decided to just kind of let that one die off.
That's fair.
But yeah, it's been awesome.
It's been amazing.
See you all
Thank
later. If you had any
you.
questions you wanted to ask us, go ahead and leave them in the comments. Watch the replay,
comments.
all of that.
Yeah.
And
I will.
we'll do this again sometime.
Yes. Thank you.